Welcome in, everybody. Joe Quills here with you for another edition of Also Eligible. Frank is here with me this morning. Frank, welcome in.
What's up, Joe? How are you today, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Thanks for having me on.
Glad to have you. And we are going to be looking at three races today. Um, little bit of a hectic week this week with Tropical Storm Debbie, Hurricane Debbie, post tropical, whatever you want to call her today. She's finally gone and wreaked havoc all up and down the East Coast. Colonial Downs was my original choice here because of the Arlington Derby, Arlington Million. That got pushed to Sunday. I went to Saratoga. They moved a couple of races from Saturday to Sunday. I'm like, don't want to do that. So we landed on Woodbine today. They got two races coming up today, two stakes races. Little did I know that they have this thing called the Canadian Triple Tiara. That will be the first race that we look at today, which is the Bison City Stakes. And then we'll take a look at the Grade 2 International, or I'm sorry, the Canadian Stakes. They're going a mile and an eighth on the turf. They were off the turf yesterday. I would imagine with it being a graded stake, they'll keep it on the turf. So we'll see what happens with those two races. So, Frank, how are you with Woodbine usually? Or do you usually play it?
Uh, yeah, when I do play it, I usually have a. I'm usually pretty consistent at Woodbine. I got nothing
Yeah.
against it. I would like to get up there one day. Definitely on my bucket list. I got to get up there.
Yeah, me too. Because I'd like the uniqueness of the outer turf course, and we have to call it the outer turf now because they built that second inner turf course when they replaced the harness track with the second turf. So it's a European style course. It has its undulations and all that, and it has those sharp turns and different turns, and not like these cookie cutter ones like they have on the inner turf, but little fun thing that hopefully I can get to in the next couple of years. And I know that's a stop for you. And
Yeah, definitely. It's a little different playing these synthetic tracks, but you got to adjust.
yeah, yeah, and yeah. So they run on Tapeta up there at Woodbine, and rightfully so because of the fact that they have all four seasons during the year. They may even end up with a little bit of snow at the beginning of their meet. Then you get to spring, then you get to summer, then you start cooling off in fall, and then towards the end of the meet, the beginning of December, you get the cold. So you get all four seasons with their meet here, and thankfully we're in summer. It shouldn't be that bad today, um, with the tropical storm Debbie out of the area. So hopefully we can get you guys some winners, give you some thoughts on some of the races, and let's get to it here on this Saturday morning. And when we're done with that, we're going to take a look at a race at Del Mar. Now, it's a heavy favorite in that race, but since I had that one case where I told you Arabian Night, maybe we get it again. Who knows? I doubt it, but we'll play around with it a little bit. Um, so we're going to begin with race 8, which is the first race we'll look at, is the Bison City. This is a non-graded stakes, and the only reason why it's non-graded is because it is restricted to Canadian breds. So anytime you have a restricted race, whether it's a restricted race like this or a state bred or province bred race, since we're talking Canada, it doesn't get the graded stakes, but it is a grade 2 race. It's a non-graded stakes, probably be grade 2, probably. It is going a mile and an eighth, I believe. Correction, mile and the 16th. My bad. So they're going a mile and the 16th, and they're running for 250,000. We have 9 horses entered, 9 fillies. As of right now, no scratches. We do have an update in regards to the next race because there's cross entries and stuff like that. But it looks like we're going to have a full field, all 9 entered. And favored in this race is the Woodbine Oaks winner, the first winner of the um, The winner of the Woodbine, the first leg of the Triple Tiara, um, Kins Concerto. And Frank, any thoughts on that horse?
Uh, well, I'm gonna try to beat her. She looks beatable. Yeah, I'm looking at. I'm throwing out the 1 and the 2. I mean the 3 horse Dancing Duchess. I'm not sure if she loves the distance. And just looking through this race, I kind of ended up on the 9 horse.
Okay.
He, I don't know, man. It's good times. He likes the track. It's good on the turf,
Yeah.
and she's already done well at this distance before.
Yeah. 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 I'm trying to beat Kins Concerto as well. Um, that win was her second win lifetime, but technically it was the first time she finished a race first because she won through disqualification the first time out. Um, Sophia Vives, good young jockey, did moonlight at Parks for a little bit, but she's stayed at Woodbine full time now. Um, One of the horses that you tossed, I am looking at to win here.
Oh yeah, nice.
I am looking at the 2, a little frisky. Now, as I was writing my article last night, I was trying to get myself familiar with the horses. And a lot of these horses ran in that Woodbine Oaks race. So it's almost like the way the Preakness used to be for our Triple Crown, where a lot of the horses used to go from Churchill to Pimlico. They don't now because they want that break. But I watched that Woodbine Oaks, and a little frisky may have gotten a little bit tired in the stretch. She was 5 wide all the way around. And going from the 12 hole to the 2 hole is a big thing. Now, she might get trapped along the rail possibly, but I think that the shorter trip will help her. And I think that she may steal this race here uh, um, and get by the favorite here, Kins Concerto.
I like it, Quills. You're throwing out bombs today.
Yeah. I always throw bombs and they don't come in. But, but sometimes when you handicap these races, and especially since I actually write these articles for Bleacher Brothers, sometimes when we have a track like this that pops up where I don't watch them every day, but I still keep tabs on things. The great thing is you can go on Twin Spires, on TVG. Um, I'm sure Express Best has it, but I don't have access to that account. Whatever platform you use, I'm sure you could go back and look at these races and say, okay, well, what happened in this race? Especially when you have something that says checked at the 3/8 or 5 wide. Well, let me see if it's really 5 wide. It was 5 even 6 wide. So the longer trip means you're running more, especially on those turns, and they're your average mile turn, so you are losing ground. But that horse was there, and I think that horse has a good shot today.
Yeah, I could see it. If she saves ground, why not, right?
Yeah, and I don't have an update on the weather right now. Obviously, when it comes to the Tapeta up there, it's always going to be fast or standard. So you're not going to have any real problems with the track. You may find that you have some sort of a bias going on, but you're going to have a fair track. You're going to have a fair race, and you could see you could see a great opportunity to make some money here in the second leg of the Triple Tiara. And is there any other horses here you like in this race, Frank?
No, man, I'm just gonna do strictly
Okay.
a win bet on the 9 horse.
Okay.
Chalk me up for 100 the win on the 9,
Okay.
and then I'm
Okay.
gonna
So
have that. I'm gonna have that horse with double in the with the next race.
okay. Yeah, and I will have a double for you guys as well, and it'll also be on my article on the Bleacher Brothers page. It will drop at 11:30 a.m. Um, so I'm going with the two, a little frisky. Um, Now you mentioned the three Dancing Duchess here.
Yeah.
That is an automatic toss, in my opinion, because she's only won one race at a mile, did not do much. But then again, you could argue it was in Grade One company as a 2 year old. But Munnings is a sprint sire. That horse will not get the 8.5 furlongs today. She definitely won't.
Yeah, definitely that's the question.
Yeah. And the four Ontario, that's an interesting filly here. Keep an eye on her if you're looking for even more value. Um, Ghost Zapper runs well. His offspring run well on synthetic. They win 21% of the time. She's got to get two more furlongs here, but you never know. I mean, obviously the connections think that she's worthy enough after that performance of improving and stealing the second leg of the Triple Tiara.
This trainer has three today.
Yeah, yeah,
Josie Carroll.
yeah. She's won quite a few big races up there at Woodbine, and I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up having a trifecta here. What's the third horse here? As I can't control my mouse here. 1 second. Third horse is the seven. Okay, so she's got the favorite as well. So
Yep.
she might have a Josie Carroll trifecta here. I'm not going to play it, but maybe an exacta. But I'm looking more towards the double here.
You're right. I think
Okay.
you're gonna get a good price with the two for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, and make it 10-1 morning. Make it the 10-1 morning line. Make it lower. But sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm about the egotistical nature of yes, I picked the winner. I'm not about the price a lot of times, but sometimes I'm like, oh, this horse is 10-1. It got bet down to 3-1 or something like that. Like for example, a couple of weeks ago when we had Delmar, I gave you the Baffert horse that was going from maiden to optional claimer to stakes race. He didn't win, but he went from 15-1 morning line to 3-1. So everybody had the same idea I had, which was the pattern that he usually has with a Triple Crown horse, even though we're outside the Triple Crown season. So you may get the 10-1 odds, you may not. Me, I'll make money any way I can, and that's what I'm looking at here for the eighth at Woodbine, which is on the Tapeta, mile and the 16th, the second leg of Triple Tiara. Frank's on the 9, which is
Hurricane Claire.
Hurricane Claire. I'm on the 2, a little frisky, and I'm far from that this morning. I'm not even awake yet, but those are our picks here, and you know, and feel free. Also if you're watching on Facebook, on uh, YouTube, and on X, feel free to chime in. Tell us what you like here as well. So, um, we, we're open to suggestions here. So, feel free to chime in what you like here as well. So then we go to the ninth race. Hopefully, one of us is alive in the double. And now I do want to let you guys know there's probably going to be 3 scratches in this race. And I can pretty much confirm the 7 Moira is going to be scratched. And the reason why I say that is when I was doing some research because of the cross entries that are there, the trainer, Kevin Adard, he confirmed that she was on a van down to Virginia, so she'll be scratched here. The 9 Mission of Joy will be running in the Beverly D at Colonial tomorrow, and Libin, the 11, is also cross-centered, will run there. And also, if they If they were to run it, if they had all run a Woodbine, they were running for $200,000 in a Grade Two race. They run at Colonial. That's a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup. So that's why they're doing that. So because they would get all expenses paid to ship out there if they go there in November. So smaller field, but you still got a very good field here. It's a wide open race if all three of these do scratch, and we're looking at a wide open race. And um, don't even pay attention to the morning line odds because with Moira out, everything,
Yeah,
everything,
yeah. With these scratches, it's just totally wide open now, man.
yeah.
So we'll make for a good race for sure.
hmm what are your thoughts on this race right now, Frank?
Well, with the scratches, kind of threw me for a loop, but I'm gonna land on Millie Girl. Munger, it's his second time on the horse. Hopefully, he had time to figure it out.
Yeah,
And I don't really have too much for you on this one, other than the speed figures are there. Likes the track for sure. 6 times starting and two firsts, a
yeah.
second, and 3/3. So I don't know. I'm liking. I'm going with Milliger. I'm gonna do just a straight daily double 9 with the 2.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
all I can
and
come up with after these scratches, buddy.
yeah.
Just
At
looks
least
like
we at
it'll
least we
be.
think they're scratch.
Yeah, they're gonna be. The horse is on its
Yeah,
way down south.
yeah. At least Moira we know is scratched. Um, Now I am falling on the 10, fashionably fab. Now, like I said, don't even worry about the morning line odds. I know I'm not going to get 15-1 here. I'll probably get about 5 to 10, I would think. Um, she is running on the turf for the first time since last October. She had she lost a three-way photo last time out, which would have given her a 6 race winning streak. Two for would have been 2 for 2 in 2024. She knows how to win. She's 8-13 lifetime. She's 101 on the turf. Now that's only a 7.5 furlong race. She's got to go another furlong and a half, which will be no issue in my opinion. Everything seems like she will just stalk and be ready to fire when they get into that long stretch of Woodbine because they are on the outer turf, the EP Taylor, and that stretch is over a quarter of a mile. So she will have time to pounce, and I could see her winning this race here, especially with the defections of the 7, 9, and 11.
You sold me, pal. I think I might have to play an exact of my horse with your 10.
Okay. Yeah, and the one thing I will tell everybody that's watching live or after the fact, these are just suggestions, and maybe we sway you, and maybe we're wrong. Hey, I'm wrong more than I'm right. I admit it, but um, yeah, with this race, it's really wide open here with the 3 scratches here. Um, Now the other horses I liked in this race, I did like Millie Girl, which is your horse here. Um, she's back on the turf there. She just missed in the Nassau. Um, Full Court Felicia, um, she may be on the front end. She probably will stalk, but it'd be interesting to see what they do with her. Um, the 4 Forever at All um, just missed 2 back at Santa Anita. Just missed at Churchill. We'll see how she adapts to that to the turf at Woodbine because it is a European style course. But I'm going 10-4-3-2. My play is on the 10 here. Frank is on the you're on the 2, Millie Girl, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So we may combine our picks here and do a 10 to exacta, but I am definitely going. I'm definitely going with the 10 here. Frank is going with the 2, and we'll see if we can bring one, both, or even our doubles home today. So So it looks like your double is going to be 9-2.
That's correct.
Okay.
They're going to play a small box with your 10, 10 to exact the box.
Okay. Yeah, and I wrote in my article that I am going with a 2-10 double. The 2, which is a little frisky, and I am going with the 10, which is fashionably fab. And also, if you want to play the Woodbine races today, if you're a person that likes to use the daily racing form programs, Woodbine is one of the free programs that are available today. They have Woodbine today. They have Thistledown today, which has some Ohio bred races that they have this time of the year, and also Canterbury. So Canterbury was also one of those tracks I was looking at, but they have short fields in their 2 stakes races, so I bypassed that as well. So that's why
Which state's Canterbury in?
Minnesota.
Yeah, I had one buddy that lived out there. I just forget where the hell he was from.
Yeah, and that track is the announcer is the play-by-play voice of the Minnesota Vikings, Paul Allen.
They have low takeouts out there. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's only like trying to get all the players in there.
yeah, yeah, and they got some good racing up there. They're another track like I know I'm comparing apples and oranges, but it'll also be some similarities here. They're like Penn National. They card their turf races early in the car because they don't have lights on the turf or adequate lighting, so
Yeah.
they run those while they still have daylight. So we're starting to get to the time of the year where we're losing daylight. So let's say you're picking a Saturday where they have a couple of stakes races you're interested in, and you'll look at the program and be like, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all on the turf. Huh? Well, that's because of the whole lighting situation that they have up there. So just some fun facts there for you guys.
Yeah.
So we are now going to go to Del Mar. They were probably one of the few tracks that did not get hit with rain, or so it seems. Okay, it was just the East Coast, but you get the idea. So, got a short field here. Got a 6-horse field here in the. Let me pull it up here because I had it on race 1 here. The Yellow Ribbon Handicap. We got 6 horses in this race, 6 fillies and mares. Got a heavy favorite in, I guess that's Anisette. And if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I do apologize. She has been pretty much a machine since she came over from the UK. Can we beat her today?
She's the most likely winner, but we're gonna try to beat her.
Okay.
I got now I'm looking. I think the 5 looks like the speeds. The 5 I think will probably go right out to the lead. And the 1 horse, I watched the replay in the Grade 1 Gamely,
Mm-hmm.
and that 1 horse was coming around the bend there and definitely had a lot of traffic. Looked like she had a lot of horse last time.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe we can beat this number 2. But I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play the 1 horse. Say if I'm gonna bet 100 for the race, I'm gonna put 25 to win, and then 75 to place. Since there's only
Okay.
6 horses.
Yeah. And the one thing I will say here, and I said it with Arabian Night a few weeks ago, I don't think this happens. But whenever you have a very heavy favorite like this, one thing I always look for is the place and show pools. In this case, the show pool mostly, because you got such a heavy favorite, and you're probably gonna have a couple of people that are going to load up the show pool because remember, the track will still have to pay 210 to show, even if it's really supposed to pay 202, 203. So the track loses 7 cents for every $2, and when you hear that, you say, "Oh, that ain't much." But when you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, it starts adding up. So, and I've been a couple of times the beneficiary of a favorite off the board. Now, granted, it wasn't that big a couple of weeks ago with Arabian Night, but sometimes you get these odd prices where a huge favorite goes off the board. You're looking at a nice show payout that may pay more to win, but either way, this two's going to be tough. She's going to be closing. She's a grade one winner. Maybe she's not. Maybe she's not ready for this race. I mean, we know she will be because she came back after a 5 month race and won that grade one race. Um,
Yeah, all her workouts look pretty strong there.
yeah, yeah, they are strong, and you know,
She's got
it.
Rich really knows her very well. He's on her every mount, just
Mhm.
about.
Yeah, yeah, he's been on there the last 6 times. Um, Now, I'd like to see some of the earlier races at Del Mar today because I want to see how fair the turf is. And the turf doesn't necessarily have a bias as much as the main track may have on a typical racetrack, typical day. But occasionally you get days where you're on the front end and you win all the time. And some it just may be logical, horses, multiple horses on the front end tiring out. I'm tempted to go with the 5 here, and this is why I was looking at this morning before we started the show here. I think she's going to be going for the front, and if no one's around her, maybe she steals this.
Yeah, there's a possibility she's definitely going to be on the front end, I would think.
Yeah,
So she might just be able to run away with it.
yeah, and she's a Grade Two winner. She won at Del Mar 2 years ago, and she's first race off of a layoff. She came back after a year and a half break and won a Grade Three race. Um, the 8.5 furlongs should be no issue here. It's just a matter of what happens with the two Anisette. And we know so many times from horse racing, so many weird things can happen. You toss a jockey, weird things that the horse is okay because we don't wish any bad things on horses. But you take a bad step, the jockey falls off or something like that. So,
Did you see the
but
first race at Del Mar yesterday? That was
no,
pretty
no,
bad.
I did not.
That was a bad spill. And then I thought the
Oh,
horse was, but then the horse was all right. My friend said. My friend
yeah.
Mikey was at Del Mar, and he said the horse got up.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
really ugly. Quill. She went right into the fence and all.
Ooh.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Jockey was flying.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, with the way that everything is now with HISA and everything else, I guarantee you, if you go looking for that, Del Mar is going to say Del Mar, Twin Spires, TVG, whatever, race unavailable. So all you have is the chart, and you'll have to play it in your imagination if you did not see the race like I did.
Now,
But
when they showed the replay, they cut it out because
yeah,
it was tough to
yeah,
watch.
yeah. They may even just say it's not even available to watch. They may just take the whole thing out. So, but
I love the sport, but it does make me sick when you see it.
yeah, yeah, because there was a horse that broke down last week, and I don't know. I don't know if it was at Horseshoe Indy, but John G. Dooley, the racetrack announcer at Horseshoe Indy, had a comment about it. Uh, he was all he had a sad tweet about it because the horse was a Louisiana, one of the top Louisiana breds, and he calls the races at the fairgrounds. So
Yeah.
he was actually a little beat up about it, and rightfully so. I mean, anytime a horse goes down, whether it's a bottom claimer or the top of the top horses, it's not a fun thing.
Yeah, it changed my whole mood. I'll be honest. I just got to the
Yeah,
bar, had on my first beer, then that happened. I was like, hey, but
yeah,
anyway, the horse she bounced back up supposedly.
yeah, and hopefully she runs in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Give her the time off to make sure she's okay. It was a fillier mare, right?
Yeah, I think maybe they should just retire her. I don't think she's very good, but either way.
She may be retired. You know, because the horse racing game is more than just um, it's more than just racing because it's also breeding, and sometimes you get these horses that you know triple crown winners and their offspring don't do squat, and then you get these horses that don't do anything and their horses become superstars. So it's just the way things are. So so um yeah, and then Sunday we have big day. We're not going to look at any of the Sunday races, but you got races galore here. It's almost like it's a super Saturday of races. um I'm just pulling up some of the races here, just pulling up some of the notes I have here. Colonial moved their Arlington Million card to Sunday because of the weather, because of the storm that came up the coast. Um, the Four-Star Dave and the Saratoga Derby Invitational is on Sunday as well. That's the final two races on Saratoga's card. Um, just some of the, I mean, it looks like it's a Saturday of racing on a Sunday. So if you're a person that likes some of these tracks or likes some of these big names and big races, you know, you got a ton of options, a lot more options than you would have seen on a typical Sunday. You got Ellis Park with the Ellis Park Derby. Um, you got the Long Acres Mile at Emerald Downs. You got the Oceanport Stakes at Monmouth. You got three different races at Saratoga: the Four-Star Dave, the Saratoga Derby, and the Mahoney. You got a ton of great options even tomorrow. So, um, and tomorrow's race for me is going to be the Four-Star Dave on the turf. So be on the lookout for that on the Bleacher Brothers page, bleacherbrothers.com. And follow me on X and at Joe Quills, and I'll link that out to you guys sometime after 11:30. So
What's the deal, Quills? The Friday Saratoga races got canceled, so but they
yeah,
moved one of those. Was there a stakes race that got moved to Saturday? Do you know off the top of your head? I mean, that got moved to
um,
Sunday. I'm not sure
what
which.
they did was the Saratoga Invitational. They moved it from Saturday to Sunday. The Four-Star Dave they moved from Saturday to Sunday. The Troy, which was last week, was running today. They will probably run that off the turf, but I don't know what they did with the Friday race off the top of my head. They might have it next weekend.
You know a lot of stuff, Quills.
Yeah, I read the article, but I don't remember what they were doing with any of their bigger races because I think there was a stakes race, but once they cancel, I start watching other things on the TV while I'm working. So, but once 1 o'clock comes on 1 o'clock comes around on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday while I'm working. Okay, FS2, FS1, FS0, something like
There you
that.
go. You can watch
But
from anywhere now.
yeah, that's the great thing. I mean, I could even set up my second TV behind me because that's an antenna TV as opposed to my cable box.
Eh,
And I'll, even if I live stream, I could do that as well because I've been toying around with the idea of live streaming and sidecasting races as well. So that's something I'll talk with AJ about. So,
Nice.
so actually, we got a short show here today. Um, we're going to call it a stream here. So, Frank's on the 9 in the eighth race. I'm on the 2. In the ninth race, Frank's on the 2. I'm on the 10. And we're both trying to beat the favorite in the big race at Santa Anita later tonight. So, we don't have the scratches in yet. I don't believe at Woodbine. They'll be rolling in. Those three horses are probably going to be running at Colonial. Moira probably is more than likely running at Colonial because she was on the van down there. So keep an eye out for the scratches, and hopefully we'll get you guys some winners here on this Saturday. So Frank, Thank you so much for joining me today. Bit of a quick one today.
That's good.
Uh,
I gotta get back to work. I gotta go order some paver stones for a job.
oh, so this is actually a benefit, and I am going to cool off here because I'm sweating ungodly now. So, but we're
Who do
do
your Phillies
appreciate.
have today?
I'm sorry.
Who do your Phillies playing today?
Phillies play Arizona.
Oh, there you go. I
Yeah,
had
they
that.
won. They
I
won
lost
on
on the Phillies
Thursday.
yesterday. Every
Yeah.
time I take the Phillies, I can't win lately.
Oh, I had to sweat out Johan Rojas not getting a hit on Thursday night. He was plus 155 to not get a hit. I had him, and it was like minus two something for over a half a hit. I was like, he ain't getting a hit. First at bat, nothing. Second at bat, nothing. We get to the ninth inning. I'm like, all right, well, if the Phillies get anybody on base, he has to come up in the ninth inning. And of course, he has to come up. So I had to sweat that out. And, even though the Phillies are winning, I'm cheering. Yes, he did not get a hit. But yeah, so I turned that $25 I won from France medaling in the Olympics in basketball. I parlayed it into Johan Rojas on Thursday. That was a winner. And
Nice.
so little by little, getting that account back up and running. So, but you know, and maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll throw in some football stuff and other things as well. Not only on this show, but also on my main show, which is the Joe Quill Show, which is Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be adding Wednesdays the week of September 9th, and that'll be at 10 o'clock because I'm going to be following Chef Tom and yourself
For
with
the
his
golf.
golf show. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So we're ready to go with the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network, and this will be the Saturday morning show on there as well. So, and hopefully we'll get some winners home today. We'll get winners home with football season starting, college and pro, and also with maybe even some baseball and you know some goofy things that I'd like to do. Like I would have played the Philly trifecta with the Union, Phillies, and Eagles last night. Phillies ended up ruining it last night. So, but it happens. So that is it for now, and do appreciate everybody who took the time to watch and are watching, even going to watch even after the fact. It will be archived on YouTube, on Facebook, and on X. I got to talk to AJ because I think I can get uh, his Twitch back up and running. I maybe a thing or two I have to look at, but we'll get it fixed. So Frank, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
All right, buddy. Have a good
Uh,
day.
time to get to work, and time for me to go cool off here. So thank you so much for joining me and Frank this morning, and best of luck today on all your wagers, not just on these two tracks, but wherever you're plunking your money down today. And thank you for watching. Also eligible part of the Bleacher Brothers Network. Have a great day, everybody.
See ya.